Hey guys, welcome back to my mobility guide for golfers. This week we're going to focus on thoracic mobility and the effects that can have on your golf swing. It's a really important area to look at, particularly as we're coming into the winter months and you're getting a bit colder, a bit tighter, and maybe not playing as much as well. So it's a great time to look after those backs. Let's give it a try. All right, so while we're starting to try and get the back moving a little bit better, we're really focused for golf on the thoracic spine, but we're really looking to look after the health of the whole spine. Your spine is made up of lots of different vertebrae, and they have the ability to flex and extend and side bend as well as rotate. As golfers, we tend to just focus on rotation. So to start with, what we're going to do is look at working on the soft tissue, and that is all of the musculature around the spine. And then that's going to allow us to go into some exercises that will help us to actually create that thoracic rotation as well. So you might have seen me with the foam roller. I've got lots of these things. This is a really big one, but nice big solid foam roller is really good just for starting things off, rolling around and just working through different parts of the spine. When I'm using that, I usually try and just work up and down the spine nice and slowly, find any tight patches. You can go with your hands across your chest and just go really slowly, working through the whole spine, up into the top section as well. If that feels comfortable enough, you can put your hands behind your back, and that might just access a few different points throughout the back. Now this is great as a starting point. You might be really tight, so that might be enough for you. But if you need to try and sort of pinpoint a few tighter areas a bit more, then using something that's a bit smaller can be helpful to do that. You might find that using something like a tennis ball is enough, or I tend to use lacrosse balls. So a tennis ball, what you would do is basically get the ball and you pop it into an area of your back that you want to focus on. And you might need a bit of support with your hands on your side, and we just work through those different parts. Now, focal points for me are always that mid-spine, and I'm just working down one side just now. When I find a tight bit, I'll roll around a little bit extra on it. And I'm supporting myself the whole time here with my hands. If I want a bit more pressure, I can take the pressure off my hands. Then I'm going to work further up and start getting into the shoulder blades as well, around the scapula. You might hear a few pops. That's okay. It's not going to do any damage. And then right up into the shoulder blade and getting up into those traps as well. Now, if you want even more intensity, you can get a couple of lacrosse balls, and we're going to tape these together to make what's called a peanut, and then we're going to use that to work through the spine as well. Okay, so we've now got our peanut ready to go. So basically this is going to allow me to work down both sides of the spine at the same time. So I'm going to turn around to do this one. So we're going to pop this behind the back, basically in between, with a ball either side of the spine, so the spine is in between the two balls. And we're going to start quite low down and just really gently roll around, take a bit of pressure off the hands, just until you're comfortable. If you find any really tight spots, spend a bit extra time there, and then work down to the next part. So usually in this mid-spine, this is where it starts to get a little tighter. But remember that your spine is connected all the way through your body. And so if one part isn't moving correctly, you might feel the effects of that elsewhere in your body. Classic example is if you've got tight hamstrings, tendency is to get a sore lower back. So we're just going to keep working all the way through the spine. This is where I get a bit sore when I'm getting closer to those shoulders. When you find a sore bit, just spend a little bit of time rolling that out. Then up into the shoulder blades. And for me, I just like to lie and sort of move around on this bit. And then I might move up and down again, taking the pressure off the ground with my body so that it's more in my feet. And through that peanut. Now up into the top of my back. So this is where I like to pop my hands above my head, and that's going to change the muscle groups that it's kind of reaching, and you can move side to side. And then do the up and down again. And again, just put as much pressure as is comfortable for you. You want to spend probably about 3 minutes doing this. So you take your time, don't rush it, spend a bit of time on those sore parts, and then just work your way up and down that spine. So using the peanut or the foam roller is a really, really easy way of just looking after your muscles all the way through your back. And if you're not sure how you're going to spend 3 minutes doing it, or you get bored too easily, here are a couple of exercises that you can do to help you just create focal points all the way through your spine. So we're going to take the peanut, or you could do this with the foam roller as well. I'm going to pop it right up in between my shoulder blades. I'm just lying down on the ground. Once you're down on the ground, lean into that. Now, really important focus here is if I pull my t-shirt nice and tight, you'll see that my back is virtually flat against the ground here. So now I'm going to put my hands in between my legs, and I'm going to reach as far back as I can while keeping my back flat to the ground. Nice and slow. I'm going to do that 3 times. And then I'm going to move up a little bit on the ball. And I'm going to do the same thing 3 times. Really slow and controlled. Keeping that lower back pressing into the ground. Doesn't matter if you can't reach the above your head with your hands. Just taking it as far as you can. That gives you a really nice stretch. I'm going to move it again. So I'm getting into the shoulder blades here, nice and slow. This one's always good for me. It gets a bit crunchy, might hear some funny noises. But again, just focusing on keeping that back flat to the ground. Slow, controlled movement as far as you can go. The reason that we don't want the back to move off the ground is then we are getting the motion, that range of motion from a different part of the spine. Okay, and then move again, all the way, as far as you want to go really. Nice and slow. 3 reps each time. So that's the first one. A really nice, easy way of really targeting your whole spine and making sure that you hit every single point. Second one, similar idea. Basically, we pick a point on the spine. This time we're going to go with the hands behind the head, and we're just doing sort of mini crunches. This one's a little more intense. And then we move it to a different part of the spine. So I'm going to move it up a little bit and do the same thing. So 5 crunches, just really small movement on this one. So if you're looking for maximum intensity, this is the one to do. Same thing, hands above the head, doing those crunches. And really with that one, a combination of the hand position, so having the hands behind the head and having the peanut either side of the spine really adds to the intensity of that exercise. So this is our first part of our thoracic mobility. Over the next few days, you will see me coming out with some exercises that is going to actually start to stretch the thoracic and create that separation that we're looking for in our golf swings. It's going to help us with our distance and power, but also going to help us long term to avoid injuries. So super important. Give this a try and make sure you do it every single night, and then we'll start to add in some stretches as well.